Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another edition of Sparks Entertainment and Art. And today we have a guest who thinks he's going to be a big surprise and he's hiding, but his name is right there on the screen. But we have Larry Graves. And the one thing I hear more than anything, Larry, is why haven't you had Larry Graves on yet? And to be honest,
I've been asking you that.
well,
I email you every couple of weeks. Why
you
have
do,
I not been
you
on the
do,
show yet?
you do. And to be honest, though, no one has asked me that.
No.
No one has. But nonetheless, I've said it to myself. I said, why I got to get Larry on. So I thought you did a show a little while ago on the Spark songs that you don't like. And I had been working on all kinds of lists. And I said, you know what? I'm going to think about what I don't like, get Larry on, and we'll talk about our lists. And
Yeah.
I thought that would be fun. So what do you think?
Yeah. And I did my top 30 Spark songs, right? But before I did that, I did my top, I think I titled it Top 10 Worst Spark Songs. Not that they're that bad, right? But it's just the way I title when I'm doing a list of bands, my least favorite songs, I always put worst songs because sometimes they are bad, right? But with the Sparks, they're not terrible. They're
They're
just my
not
least
terrible.
favorite.
And
But then I did get a little bit of flack from one of the Sparks groups on Facebook saying, why are you so like some fans are really touchy when it comes to saying anything, even a little bit negative about Sparks. It's like you can love Sparks or any band, but you can still have your least favorite songs or whatever, or you might not like a certain album, right?
yeah. Well, I agree with you, but also the bigger point is you and I both have a track record of great positivity. So if once in a while we just feel like having a little fun, I have 10,
But also
12 songs out
Monte,
of almost 400. I think
yeah.
that it's okay to have a little fun with
But
it.
also with those two different videos, the my favorite 30 Spark songs, well, the worst Spark songs got about 4 times the views, right? Because I
Mhm.
think more people are interested. Oh, what's he not like? Like
Well, yeah, as I said, I think you have a great track record. You've been a great supporter of the band. Let's just take 1 second, if you don't mind, tell people about your two stations.
yeah, I have 2 YouTube channels. I've had the one Canadian Studmuffin. This will be the 20th year for it. I know. I'm getting tired, Monty. And I've been posting pretty regularly, almost every day for 20 years. And I've always talked about Sparks. And what I love about it is a few years ago when I did start to talk about them, promote them, I never seriously expected anyone to listen to me and go check them out. But I've had, dozens and dozens of people say, because of me doing the videos that they've checked them out and become fans. So
That is really great. I've always had a lot of trouble bringing people into the fold. There's 2 or 3 folks from high school who I'm still friends with, and the rest of them, occasionally they'll go to a show because they say, well, let me just see. And then it was like, oh, that was really fun. And I said, do you want to go again? And it's like, no, I'm good. So, but it's just the way it is with the band. But they certainly have been enjoying a lot of success, and
yeah.
you and I will continue to be fighting for them every step of the way.
Yeah.
But you had a second show, right? Now you have a second channel that you've added.
Yeah, I've had my second channel, Larry Graves, Canadian Stuff, and it's just because I have so many different ideas that I can usually post one video on each channel every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had that channel for about 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But they're
Well, we will
basically the
have links.
same ideas.
Yeah. Well, we will have links, and you are certainly an idea man, and it's great to have you. And following up on your 30 favorite, I think I mentioned to you, I'm working on a list of 125 favorite Spark songs. Start out 100.
Why don't you just rank them all?
Well, I start out 100 and I ended up with 125. I said, it's my list.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
So it's at 125. Yeah, maybe one day I will go a little further.
So how many songs do they have now in total?
It's like 4. It's got to be at least 400.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. But, well, that's a good segue. So they're about to release another 12. I think it's 12 on the new album. And before we talk about our lists, what I want to do is just, how are you feeling about this new album from the 3 songs that you've heard so far?
First of all, I would say with the 3 songs, it's not that much of a change. So kind of surprised. I think you also were expecting some kind of big change in their sound, right? The
I
way
was expecting
they've
some kind
done
of
it through the
change.
years. But this is being pretty consistent with their last few albums. A little different, like I think they're using more loops or whatever in it. And I just watched your video today on your channel, and you talked about doing a upcoming video on Russell and his vocals, like because Ron gets all of the all of the love, right? Or
Deservedly.
kind
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
but the, it's funny that you mentioned that because what I was going to say on this show is Russell doesn't get enough compliments for his production and engineering. I
It's a
think
great point.
the thing about the new album, and this is just on Spotify, right, and listening on my phone, but the production sounds more amazing than ever, right?
Mhm.
It's like he improves over the years with his engineering and everything.
Well, that is a really great point. And as I explore this aspect of Russell, then I want to make sure that we get into that a little bit more.
Yeah,
I think you're right, though. I was focusing on the vocal aspect
yeah,
to a
yeah,
degree, but what you're saying is absolutely true.
yeah.
He's technically, he's the one that puts it together. And
I don't think he even needs his brother.
for the technical side,
Well, he's such a great songwriter, although he's
yeah,
only written what 3 or 4 songs.
yeah. Well, we all love Roger, and we all love Pineapple even more.
That's one thing, if I ever did interview them, that's the one thing I would like to ask. Uh, I wonder if Russell ever helps out with the lyrics,
the
or gives
songs are the
ideas.
songs have evolved from being Ron Mail to Ron and Russell Mail over the
Yeah,
years. So I'm sure he has some contributions,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but he interprets, and what he brings to it. I want to really explore that on a technical level,
yeah.
and so that's what we'll be doing in some of
Cool.
the upcoming shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my take on this is that I'm not a big fan of these releases one by one. They come out piecemeal. Um, I've gotten used to it over the years because that's just the way it's done.
Yeah.
But to me, the joy was getting that album, putting it on, and just letting the whole thing wash over you fresh, and you get an experience with that. So, I like what I've heard so far. I think the third song, Drowning in a Sea of Tears, is a great
That's one of their
song.
best songs in recent years for me.
Yeah. Well, it sounds great. I can't wait to hear all this in the context of the album, and then I'll be able to
Yeah.
give you a sense of how I feel. Like I wasn't that crazy about Veronica Lake, and a couple others, but when you hear it all in context, then it starts to have some meaning because in my mind, they're an album band.
Yeah. And it's just like these fans, sometimes an album gets online somehow and people like if that happened with Sparks, I wouldn't listen to it. I like you, the day it's released is when I want to listen to the whole album, right?
Right.
But if
Right.
they do release a video beforehand, I'm going to watch it. Like,
Sure, sure. I don't. That's not in my DNA.
yeah,
After all these years, to just say,
yeah,
"Oh, there's a brand new Sparks," I'm not gonna watch it or listen to
yeah,
it. It's just not gonna happen.
yeah. So were you a little bit disappointed that it was kind of the same sound, or
Yeah, I don't know if disappointed is the word. I just felt like, and I said this in a blog post that I wrote too. I felt like Latte was kind of a coda. It kind of brought things home in terms of where they had been going the last few years. It really talked about what they had seen in the world and how they translated that into life lessons and lessons that they can impart and all those good things. So I thought, okay, now it's a good time to move on a little bit. I would have liked to have seen that, but they don't need my advice. They're
yeah,
doing quite fine without my guidance. So you know, I'll, but the bottom line, Larry, is I just can't believe there's a new Sparks album after what 50 years.
yeah,
So I'll take it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The Mad album cover, what do you think of that?
I noticed that well, we haven't actually seen it, but I noticed it doesn't say Sparks on it, which is what they do sometimes. So I thought that was pretty cool. And, you know, uh, I think it's okay. It's not like blowing me away.
Yeah, yeah, and it's good, but I do miss the days of like Angst in My Pants. Although they kind of did that with Hippopotamus. That was a really good album cover.
That was a great one.
Yeah. So on the upcoming tour, I have a question for you. What is a song or two that you wish they would do from the
Mhm.
past?
I would love to hear Change. I'm trying to be in a realistic. I would really love it if they just went all out and did something like when I sit down to play the organ at the Notre Dame Cathedral. I have no expectation that they will,
Yeah.
but there are a couple that I think are more realistic. Like Change would be one. Pulling Rabbits would be another one.
Hmm.
That would be one that would fit in with with what they seem to be doing these days really nicely.
Yeah.
How about you, Larry?
You know what would one song is Whippings and Apologies, which I don't think they would do, but that would be nice to see. But it would be also kind of nice for Ron and Russell to do like a mini, like a 20-minute solo thing, just Ron
Oh
and
yeah,
Russell, right? And
yeah.
do three, like you said, Change. They could do Change and two or three other songs.
They
Yeah.
have done that in an acoustic way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be amazing. That
Yeah.
that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. And one other song is Those Mysteries from Introducing Sparks,
Oh, that'd be
which,
great.
which I did see them perform on the solo tour in Toronto. So
Same here.
that was nice.
Same here. Yeah, that would be great. Well, that another song they might do would be "Goofing Off."
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ron and Russell doing that whole series of albums, I think they kind of realized, you know what, these are actually good songs, right? They
Hmm.
probably hadn't heard some of them in quite a while, but
Yeah, I'm sure.
did, did they do biology too?
Sure.
They did? How did they do
Yeah,
that?
I was there. It was fine when you're there. It's just
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
so
yeah,
much fun. It was the first show. They were a little hesitant and nervous, but they got
yeah,
over it. And no one knew quite what to expect, and they just did the albums.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it was a great experience. I always
Yeah.
thought, I wonder if they ever thought of like taking like 4 albums, maybe the '80s albums, and just doing them as a set in LA. I thought that would be kind of a cool thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like I said, they really haven't reached out to me for guidance over the years. So,
And I wonder
but
if
I'm here, man. I'm here.
I wonder if they'll ever do amateur hour again because they kind of dropped that from their set list. Eh?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It would be great to have amateur hour back. That would be a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I guess we'll see.
yeah.
But we are going to London and we're
Ooh,
turning it into a big trip and
nice.
we're going to see them twice. We're going to see them in London and then in Manchester. So I'll be seeing them with Paul Barrett and all those guys. Stuart Avis. I'll get to see his record shop. I'll do an on-site remote with him.
Nice.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. So when the album comes out, we should all get together maybe a month after and talk about it in a
We
live
can do
chat.
it
Eh?
however you guys want to
Yeah.
do it.
On my channel, not your channel.
Yes, we'll do it on your channel.
Yeah.
Well, you do have thousands and thousands of subscribers, and I have
Yeah.
235.
Yeah.
So, yes, maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah. So one other thing is, do you think their last, three albums went into the tops? It was number 7, their last three in the UK. Do you
Yeah.
think they have any chance with being with this other record company of it doing well on the charts?
I'll bet they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll bet it might be a repeat of the last pattern where they hit the charts big
Yeah.
and then
Then
they
it
kind of
drops.
dropped
Yeah.
off. It
Yeah.
was like, oh, a new Sparks album.
Yeah.
Everybody was interested, got it.
Yeah.
And after that, but they're changed so much in the last few years in terms of the public knowledge of them and perception. I mean, the Edgar Wright movie just really changed things.
And I saw there's a big article in Mojo magazine, and then there's Classic Pop. They're
Yeah,
in all
like
of
the
these magazines. Yeah,
cover. They're on the cover of them.
yeah,
I'm so happy for them.
yeah.
So let's go ahead and start with you reviewing your list, or do you want to do one and one? But
Yeah, we'll
let's
do one on one. That'd be good.
okay. Well, mine aren't in order, and I didn't prepare because I know you love when these things are in order.
I want them ranked.
I know. I can't. How could I have not thought of
Well,
that?
my number 10
Okay.
is actually a good pop song. It's Please Baby Please from Sparks in Outer Space. It's just that, especially back when the album came out, it was like kind of a bland Spark song. Like I said, it's a good song. It's a good commercial song, but it has none of the brothers' personality in the song. It's just an okay song for me.
Okay. Well, since mine aren't in order, I will just say the one I currently have as number 7, as songs I just never really took to, would be Please Baby Please. And I think you said it. It just there's no personality there.
Yeah.
You know. So there you go. We found some convergence.
We agree with each other on something.
We agree with each other on a lot. All right, go. Now, what's your next one?
Okay. Number 9 is from Terminal Jive. Noisy Boys.
It's on my list. Yeah, it's probably maybe about 11 or so because I went back a little bit, but it's right up there. But then to me, that gets into the whole thing of Terminal Jive.
Yeah. The chorus is catchy, but once again, it's like kind of bland. It's not Sparks, right?
People will be surprised at this convergence. Noisy Boys. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Number 8, from Interior Design, Love-O-Rama, which I actually like more today than I did back in the day, but still, it's not one of my favorites.
Oh.
It's kind of cheesy.
It's just not. Yeah,
it's not
I'm with you on that. But the one that I chose from that album was "Let's Make Love."
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, because it's like, they were trying to do too many love songs and things on there, and I don't know. I love. There's a couple love songs that they do that I love, that I really like. But that one just never really had much personality to me.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, number 7. Now, this is going to be a big shocker for a lot of people, but it is This Town Ain't Big Enough for Both of Us with Faith No More.
Yeah, that's the good one. I thought
now I like the
Kimono.
version. I like the version of Something for the Girl with everything that they do together with Faith No More, but it just doesn't work on This Town because I think that Mike Padden, is it, or Padden? His vocals just ruin it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's fine.
I can see that. It's not on my list, but I can see that for sure.
It's like a bit over the top, aggressive, or I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I've always liked Faith No More, but I can see where a lot of people would just say,
Yeah. All right, number 6 is poor old Terminal Jive. Rock and Roll People in a Disco World.
See, now that is probably my favorite, one of my 2 or 3 favorite songs on that album.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, I like it too, but it's like I don't love it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting. Yeah.
Number 5.
I like when they put in the little guitar part in the middle, but
number 5, I think might be on your list. It's from Angst in My Pants. Tarzan and Jane. Tarzan and Jane.
Oh, yeah. It's not on my list, but yeah, it should be. I remember even the very first time I heard that album, Angst in My Pants, and I was thinking, this is just a throwaway song. And, to me, it didn't even it wasn't even one that was worth like thinking about. So I guess that's why it's not on my list. It was just there.
It just, it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Give me some of your songs, Ed.
Well, you've been on a roll, and I
I
just
have been.
figured, I'll just let Larry
It's
do
all
his
about
show
me.
again. You know, I don't need to be here. Sure, I'll give you a couple of mine. All right, ready? Fingertips.
It's on my list. In
Yeah,
fact, it's number
fingertips.
2.
Yeah, I of all the songs in the world to cover, why that one?
Yeah. And the crowd in the background is gets on my nerves.
Yeah,
And Russell's I love Russell's falsetto for the most part, but it just doesn't work for this song for me.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
So while we're on the topic of covers, I'll give you another one which might surprise you, which is "I Want to Hold Your Hand."
I like it.
I know a lot of people like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
To me, I just felt like, what are they doing? And it was so over the top, schmaltzy. You
Yeah.
know,
And I still don't know if it was kind of done in a jokey way. I know they love the Beatles,
yeah.
but I don't know if it was kind of done in a jokey kind of way. I don't think it was. I think they're being sincere.
See,
But
that's the problem because I always thought of it as it's kind of funny if you listen to it as satire, but if you think it's sincere, then I don't know where they're coming from with
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
All right, let me give you a modern one. Okay, this might surprise you. That song they did a little while ago for the movie "Come Fly Away." Did you hear
I
that?
probably heard it, but
It's like it's
yeah.
like 7 minutes or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and it's
I wasn't that impressed with it.
no. I have not listened to it from beginning to end yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's a surprise. All right, hit us.
Yeah.
So
Okay, now stop me if you've heard this before. That's the song.
I kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's one of my least favorites from interior design.
To me, that's the issue. Like the Terminal Jive songs. That's an issue more with the album itself. You know, it's just there are parts of the album that have grown on me a bit, but it hasn't really hit me in a meaningful way yet.
Yeah, I enjoy like interior design, music that you can dance. I enjoy all of pulling rabbits from the out of a hat. I played a couple weeks ago for the first time in quite a while, and I
Mhm.
really enjoyed it. I mean, the pr- the the production is kind of lacking on it for one thing, but yeah, I
It
really
is.
enjoyed it the last time I heard it.
All right, so there we're talking about pulling rabbits. Is that there's like 3 or 4 songs that I think are absolute classics, like the title track, and then 4 or 5
Then there's
songs I
Everybody
just can't.
Move.
That's the song I was going to say. Everybody move, and I
I
talked
used
about
I
that.
used to absolutely hate that song, and now I
Yeah,
kind of like it.
yeah. It's just
It's once again, it's
you'll
really
have an itty
cheesy.
bitty rear. What kind of line is that?
And
Quite a
number
word.
3, once
Uh-huh.
again from interior design, Madonna.
So I'm getting the impression that you are not a big fan of interior design.
It's probably one of my least favorite, but I still like it. Yeah.
It has its moments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Toughest Girl in Town is.
Yeah, that's a great song. Yeah.
When you hear how high that one gets ranked when I do give out my top
Hmm.
10 list,
Yeah.
you'll be surprised. It's like it's real high. All right. I got to have some suspense for my 235 listeners.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
like that suspense.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go all the way back now. And there's one song I just can't stand listening to from beginning to
Biology
end.
2.
How did you know? Can I
I
tell
know
you?
you very well, Monty.
I guess you do. I just can't listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and it
don't
hasn't
mind
grown
it.
on me. I wish it
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
Is
It's
that
funny too. Russell's story about the very first Spark song he ever heard on the radio was Biology 2.
what do you got left?
Number 1. And one of the Sparks fans was saying that I kind of cheated doing this, but it's a song. The Wedding of Jacqueline Kennedy to Russell Mael.
Well, what's not to like about it? It's just such a little
Because
silly
I was
thing.
excited when I had the 45, that was the B side. I was excited to hear a Spark song I'd never heard. And then it's just this stupid phone conversation.
I mean, it's clearly a joke.
But I love the humor of it, right? But it's
Yeah,
just kind of disappointing as a song. it's hard to dance to.
That's true. It is hard to dance to. All right, let me throw out one or two others then, okay? Because you went through your list.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, White women. It just has not held up. It has not stood the test of time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like that. So, well, the subject matter. I mean, they couldn't do that kind of song today.
Certainly not.
Same with throw her away and get a new one, right? They
Yeah.
can't even do that. But
Yeah,
the only thing I don't like about that song is it kind of drags at the end, the last minute or so.
Mhm.
But otherwise, it's a good song.
You think so?
Yeah, I like
Are
it.
we talking about white women?
Yeah.
Yeah. Never really took to it. And then let me throw out one or two more. You might be surprised by this one. You may not be, but it's Just Because You Love Me, which I put in the same category as Please Baby Please.
I think they repeat the song title a couple of times in the song.
Yeah. Baby, baby, give it to me, give it to me. Baby, baby, give it
Ron
to me,
really
give
worked
it
on
to
those
me.
lyrics.
Yeah, he was not. I don't think he was very inspired at the time that record actually came together. But that one is, come on, you can do better than that.
Yeah.
As your entire career has demonstrated. So those are my lists. I would add a couple others that I just never really took to. But this is one that I didn't care for until recently. But now I'm hearing it in a different way. It's educational on balls.
Yeah.
I couldn't listen to it for years, but lately, and I hope Paul Barrett isn't listening because then he'll take all the credit for this. I've really been enjoying the Sparks album that is entitled Balls.
Yeah. I've always liked it. I think it was kind of disappointing when it first came out because it's like, okay, it's more of the dancey kind of, I was kind of hoping for more of a rock album, but it's still a very good album. Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's the one that's the biggest mystery because like interior design never really grew on me. Introducing, I know a lot of people love it, but for me, doesn't quite work. Terminal Jive, Balls was in that category, but I'm really starting to hear it in a different way and starting to appreciate it. So there you go.
I as you age and you go back and listen to an album from 20, 30 years ago that you thought was kind of mediocre, it's like, this isn't bad at all. I really like this, your opinion changes. So
well, they're just so unique.
Yeah.
They're just so unique. I agree with you. I'm hearing things differently now than I did 40 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, Larry. Well, thank you so much. And I know we'll be doing more stuff together. This was really a good, wide-ranging conversation. I really appreciate you joining.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Monte.
Absolutely. And Larry, as somebody who knows marketing and knows how to build up a fan base, can you put in a plug? Because I'm really bad at it. I'm obviously really, really bad at it.
I can't really help you with that, Monte. I'm sorry. No, I understand.
That was the whole point of doing this.
Yeah,
that was the only reason I asked you on the show.
No, it's a struggle for everybody on YouTube for views, right? I'll post a video and I'll be lucky if it gets 300 views. And then I'll post some other, like I did a video yesterday on the Who firing Zach Starkey, right? And it's got like 8,000 views. It's just it's the way YouTube is, right? Like, just stick with it. You're doing a great job.
Well,
and
thanks.
Make sure you subscribe to Monte.
There you go. Can you say it again?
And like the video and share it on Facebook and everywhere with all your family. And if you have any friends, share it to them too.
My problem is I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
So what can I do? Anyway, Larry,
when you post this, I will promote it, Monte. You know that.
Yeah, but the bottom line, I do it just because I love it, and I just love having these conversations, and it will come. Yeah. All right, Larry. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Monte.
All right. Bye, everybody. Hit that subscribe button.
Gonna do things my own way. Gonna do things my own way. Gonna do things my own way.